ये भी इंटरेस्टिंग टूल है, ऐसा कुछ मेजर प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Okay, let's start recording. Screen is visible, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a similar infrastructure as a code, which is normally we heard about the word like public leader, which is Terraform. Similar to Terraform, this is the CDK Cloud Development Kit, which is designed and developed by the AWS itself. So Terraform supports multi-cloud or hybrid cloud, but CDK only supports to your AWS cloud. No other Azure, GCP, or IBM cloud like that. So it's a, if you look at the standard definition, like it's a cloud development kit. So it's open source, but only supported by the AWS. Okay, because they designed this module. So earlier, if you heard about this cloud formation, if I go to this cloud formation template, let me, after this I can go that. It works similar to your Terraform code. Thus feature and the other functionality will be different, like there are commands and like other stuffs, the structure of the writing the code. But the function, the terminology, you can say infrastructure as a code, it's a similar to Terraform viewer. Okay. Ultimately, it creates cloud formation template when we write down the CDK code. So CDK code, when we write, so it's very small chunks, not the bigger code. Okay, but it ultimately generate the cloud formation template. If you avoid CDK and just only follow the cloud formation template, when you try to write down the cloud formation template, you need to write down number of lines, for example. So let's say if you if you want to create the EC2 instance in the AWS cloud, okay. If someone asks you like, can you write down the cloud formation template? So you might need to write down the 100 lines to create one simple EC2 server. But in the CDK, you don't need to write the 100 lines. It is very power feature where you don't need to write the large scale of the coding there. Okay, with the minimum code, you can achieve your target. So let's say you want to provision the infrastructure like EC2 S3 bucket, EKS cluster, your RDS, IMS policy, users, roles like that. So you can easily, with the less amount of code, you can write down. And the language supported, you can use with the CDK, TypeScript, JavaScript, Java, your Python, .NET, and Go language. Okay, multiple languages are supported. It's totally up to you which skills or what standard you are using in the project. Let's say in our project we are using TypeScript. Okay, Java, JavaScript. वगैरह. But one of my colleague, friend, he's working with a different organization. He using Python. Okay, it's depend on their project to project the standard which they follow and which convenient language for them to use. Okay, and what is the skill set available in the team. So based on that, they can define, or based on the security features like that, their architecture can decide the terminal technology. Where so now if you look at this, how CDK works, okay, we know about the Terraform, like we seen in the last lecture, how we can run the command like Terraform initialization plan, apply like that. In this CDK as well, the same thing with the different command will be different. Okay, it's ultimately let's say we are writing the code in the Visual Studio IDE. Then if you run the command like Terraform, send bootstrap, I will explain you the what is the definition of that. But it will ultimately generate the cloud formation template in the AWS environment where you are going to deploy it. Okay, it converts your code into cloud formation template. So this is it's called as a construct here. Let's say in the Terraform we call it as a module, right? Let's say you want to create VPC module, RDS module, IMA module. So same thing in the CDK, it's called as a construct where you can define like S3 bucket, RDS, your IMA service, or other RDS like that, right? This is the structure of this CDK. We write down the cloud formation template, and the construction means your services, AWS services, Lambda function, S3, Dynamo database, or SQS, or SNS, or other services. Okay. So let's say when we design the code, we need to first synthesize and the bootstrap the AWS accounts, where similar to your Terraform state file, right? So Terraform state file will maintain your all the changes records. So same thing if we run this command bootstrap and synthesize, so it will maintain your change set in the AWS account itself. Specifically, it will not store on the locally. It will automatically feature. It will generate and maintain the your all the change set in the AWS environment, cloud formation. Yeah, there is S3 bucket generated automatically. So he will maintain all the change set. Okay. If you destroy that bucket, then it will be a very big mess up for you, like similar to your Terraform destroy. If you miss or remove any existing code, that your services will be removed, right? So same thing, same terminology will be applicable here. Okay. Then we run the command CDK deploy to deploy the stacks. Stacks means what? Your services. So prerequisites, let's say you want to do this all the setup on your local machine. Okay. It might be your Mac machine, Mac OS or your Windows or something. So at least you require these tools, Node.js. I just mentioned Node.js 14 here because the PPT when I created at the time, but you can consider this the latest version. Let's say today, or let me change here. For example, 20. Okay. So you can consider your latest generation, whatever, Node.js 20. Then AWS CLI you required because you are going to execute the command or configure the authentication with the AWS from your local machine. So last time we did that, right? AWS configure command. So same thing. Apart from that, you required Visual Studio. It's not mandatory to have a Visual Studio only. There are multiple other IDE tool available where developer can write down the code. Okay, just as a very friendly, user friendly. So I suggest this. You can go with this Visual Studio, and also plugins are there which supported. And obviously, you need a AWS IMA users to configure authentication from your local machine. Same like AWS space configure command, and then you can configure the IMA credentials, access key, secret key, and your region where you are trying to deploy this. Okay, these are the prerequisites. Now, if you look at this, how we can initialize the project. Okay, so in the Terraform, how we initialize the project, Terraform initialization, right? So same thing here. I will give you the exact command and other structure. Let's say we need to create first Terraform folder, any project folder, for example. Then we need to be placed inside that project, and then we can run this kind of command like which we discussed yesterday. Sorry, just previous slide. We required Node.js. So same thing, package manager. We can use npm to install this AWS CDK modules here. Okay. Then now we need to run this and install these plugins like which programming language you are going to use with this CDK. As we discussed in last slide, Python, Node.js, Java based like that, TypeScript. So based on that, which programming language you want to use in your project. So based on that, you can just give the name here. Let's say I'm just giving the Python here. So in your case, if you are using Python, you can just give the Python name here. Okay. Apart from this, we need to initialize this programming language in that particular folder to make it folder structure properly. Okay. Then we can run this CDK bootstrap command and synthesize. So it will generate the cloud formation template and the S3 bucket in the AWS account where you have configured the AWS CLI. Okay. So where he will generate S3 bucket to maintain the your state file similar to Terraform. So he will maintain the all the change set there. Now coming to the folder structure, we have already seen about the Terraform folder structure where we have multiple modules. Okay. So in this case, we have this bin folder, your lib folder, libraries, then your node modules is supported. Whatever the changes stack you want to deploy, that's supported package will be here. Then if you want to configure any unit test cases for this project, so you can just configure in the test folder. Okay. And then your other CDK JSON for the environment variable setup, JS config for this Java based, package.json file like that. So these are the use cases of this definition. Bin folder we can use for the entry point of the applications where it will load the stack. So we can consider as a main.tf file, for example, if we compare with the Terraform. So doesn't matter you write down the number of different models, but from where we are calling it from the main.tf. So same thing. So binary files, I will show you the code as well. What exact component is code is available in that folder. Okay. Then library folder, when you can, this is the main folder. You can mention the our CDK code here. which resources we are going to create. Okay, test cases for the test cases for the unit test cases something. Then this is one of the requirement which we can try to configure. Let's say we can configure the to web server. Okay, installing the Nginx web server by using the user data script, then creating the load balancer with the SSL certificate, configure target group and attach instance. So basically simple as web server setup where we are creating the two web server with the different availability zone, not the single one. Okay. Apart from this, this is the architecture diagram where we will have this VPC and then public subnet, and it has a two different EC2 instance. There we can create the load balancer and with the required security group and the port number. And apart from this, we can fetch the SSL certificate here and just put it in the load balancer to make it the website secure HTTPS. Okay. So this is about the just theoretical background of this, how the CDK works. How do you feel? Is it interesting?
I think like Terraform is like for me, I feel Terraform is more organized because if for any code or anything, their documentation is like very well managed. Here we have like if you stuck in somewhere, then you have to use ChatGPT or things like that. But in Terraform, like my opinion is that like their documentation is very well managed.
Yeah, if you look at the community edition or the large scale of community, because the Terraform is a widely used across the world and that's the market leader. So that's the reason you will get lots of community documentation and other stuff and the support as well. But that doesn't mean like Terraform is sorry CDK is weak here. CDK has also the lots of amount of the documentation, but not as
Mhm.
compared to Terraform, obviously, because it's widely used and multi-cloud support. But if you let's say in your organization, if you are using cloud formation template, so in that case you can choose this CDK, because if you look at this Terraform code, so I can give you the simple here, for example, right, cloud formation code to create EC2 install. ठीक है. So we need to write down the unnecessary code here, large code. And little bit hectic also. If you maintain the YAML file or JSON format here, so it will little bit time consuming process. But if I search same thing, like by using here, I can just mention like CDK expert. It will understanding wise, it will be very easy. If you look at this CDK code, na, doesn't matter. Let's say you are using Python or something, so you can easily understand this format. What things have written in this CDK code. So I'm working from last 2 3 years, so that's the reason. So Terraform definitely also good choice, but if you look after the Terraform, then definitely you can just try with this. So here
Yes.
you can see you don't need to write down the large amount of code here.
Mm, yes.
Okay.
Mm,
So same way, I have created multiple projects. If you look at the YouTube channel, no, I have at around 10 videos I created here. Initial period of this YouTube channel. If you go to this playlist, so for now, you can definitely focus on the Terraform, but I am just giving this additional notes. So in future, if you are interested or if somewhere if you get opportunity to work on the CDK code, so in that case, you can just go through this. It's I think 8 videos are there, introduction and the other part. So total 10 videos. So in the GitHub, I published a two project similar to this for this CDK where okay, I want to show you the folder structure now. So here I just post it. So this is the web app where bin folder is there. So in bin folder, we have written this kind of like whatever the supported package. Okay. Then we have this stack name and from where you calling this library file, which is the main folder, this one. So he will consider the all the configuration from there and he will deploy. And for now, we are just passing the account number here hard coded. This is just the practical account now. But in the real time, what we have done is we have created the one proper file in the CDK JSON and we have given the environment files like your dev environment, test environment, and production one. So all the AWS account details we have passed here in the CDK.json. Also, you can also pass here as well. So no issues. So I'm just adding the my account ID here and the region where you want to deploy these changes. And if you look at this library folder stack, so you can see this red mark, which means I have to install the modules which is required, the packages. So how I can install? Just I can do this by using npm install. If you have experience in this framework, so you will get better idea why we use npm or something Java based. These are the supported mod package we are importing here. Okay. Then this is the stack ID where we need to define this. So this will consider and created in the will create in the CloudFormation template. I will show you that as well. This is we are just passing the existing VPC. If you want to create new VPC, you can see this commented code. You can pass like this. Let's say maximum availability zones 2, configuration subnet public. If you want to set up in the private as well, so you can just add one more line here for the private one. Okay. And then your security group configuration, security group name, and your security group ingress policy, like which port you want to open. For example, 80 port you want to open. Okay. So you can this the format ec2.peer any IP means we are opening it for the 000. If you don't want to open publicly, so you can just pass instead of any IPv4, you can just give the custom IP address here. This is 443, and you can see the format of this custom IP address port open. For the MySQL port number 3309. Sorry, this is for the RDP1. So you can see this custom IP address. So instead of giving the any IP here, so you can just add the value like IPv4 and then IP address in the quotation. And also you can just pass the comment as well in the single quote. This is for your EBS volume size, EBS volume attachment, 15 GB if you want to give the any customization. Okay. And this is for your actual instance configuration where we can define this construct. Okay, we can give the instance name web server POC1, then your block device root volume from where we are attaching this EBS volume. You can see this configuration. It's the same like Terraform, just pattern of the writing the code is different. But if you look at the terminology, how we can write the code, that is the same. If you understand well the Terraform code, then in future, if you got opportunity to work on this CDK code as well, so definitely you will not take too much time to learn. You can easily learn this CDK code. It's not a very big complex. And this is you can how the pass the VPC. Then instance type like T2 micro and which AMI you want to use machine image. So you can just pass here and your key name. We require key right for this instance server. So that key we need to pass here manually. And in which availability zones you want to create this EC2 instance, you can just pass it here. Availability zones, and then you can just in the bracket, you can just give the name. Which security group you want to use, you can just give the name. So security group web server SG we created here. See, construct we have created web server security group, and in that we have added this policies, firewall rule. This is for the first server and this is for the second server configuration. Now you are aware, right? User data script. When we launch EC2 instance in the advanced, that option is there. So during the launch of instance, if you want to install some plugins or something, so we can add that in the EC2 instance as a automatic installation or execution. So when the server launch, it will automatically execute. So same, we can add the user data script here with the this supported plugins, read file sync, and from where we are considering lib user data one, you can see these files user data. So it's as simple as this is normal script where we are going to update, update the package, then starting this engineering service and installation, and just adding the hello world like web server one in the index.html file. This is very simple and straightforward script. And apart from this is the configuration of your load route 53 hosted zone. Okay, we need to give this because we have domain na for the demo session AWS 𝐂𝐸𝐳𝐷.net. So that hosted zone we can just pass here from where we can get the hosted zone. If I go to route 53, if I go to this hosted zone, na, I will get this hosted zone. See, so I have these three domains now: 𝐂𝐸𝐳𝐷.net, AWS 𝐂𝐸𝐳𝐷.net, and this DevOps with Namdev. So you can see this Z0CXN, Z0CXN. So that's the zone ID you have to paste here and the domain name. So it will automatically create your Route 53 DNS entry. You don't need to touch manually in the console. Okay, that will automatically taken care by this CDK code during the deployments. So which domain we are going to create? We are going to create web.awsguru.net. Okay, the domain name will be this, and your subdomain will be this web. So before that, I can just go this and just check if already available or not. Web subdomain. If I search web, it's already there. So what I can do is I can simply just delete this. Or if I can check if anything hosted here. So I don't think. So I can just simply delete this. And okay, these are the just normal one. I can remove this as well. It's not in use. Okay. Just I need to just replace the under the library. I just need to replace the key name because that key name might not be available, which I created last time. So let me just check once again. Let me verify this VPC ID is available or not. Last one 9B59. Okay. So let me go to the VPC. If you don't understand completely, don't worry. At least you should aware in the future as well. Yeah, this kind of we can set up the CDK code, right? So if I go to this VPC, so we can just verify the VPC ID 9B59. Yes, it's correct one. And just name is fine. I just need to replace the key pair here, key name, right? Which is SSH key. So that should be already there in the account. So let me go to EC2. So you can just click on this key pairs. So whatever the key pair account already created in your account, so you will see here. So let's see, for example, I can go with this. I can just copy this name and I can replace here. If it's wrong, then your deployment will not happen. It will give the failure message like key pair, key name is not found, something. And same thing here as well. And rest of the things I can fine. Now what we can do is now the format of this I have mentioned here as well. So when you are trying to do the practice, you just need to install the Node.js here from here, latest version. Okay, and then you can just check your Node.js version here. Then you need to create the one folder. So we can do same thing here. Let's say if I go to CDK project, I can create one folder here. Manlo web server CDK. Okay. And from the Visual Studio, what I can do is I can go to this file, then open folder, go to CDK projects. I can choose this newly created folder and open. So definitely it will be a blank. You can see there is no additional folder structure available here. Let me open the terminal as well. So as of now, it's nothing there. Okay, web server CDK. So I am in that path, right? So the first initialization command is what? You need to install this CDK package here. So during this execution of this command npm, so you just need to install first Node.js on your machine. Okay, otherwise it will give the error. It will take a little bit time here. Okay, that's done. Then second, you can install this required lab programming language here. Okay. Once that is done, then we can initialize this. It's similar to same like Terraform initialization. Okay. As of now, you don't have seen any folder structure. So let me run this command. See, it's created, right? Folder structure. Similar to your Terraform initialization. It will take a little bit time here. So what I can do is I can go to back our original the ready project. which I can go to this bin folder and I can just open this in Notepad. So instead of writing now manually, I can just simply overwrite this. CDK also interesting one. If you familiar with this, so you will get some sort of confidence there to manage this. And before working with the Terraform, this is the first project where I work with the completely through the ISC, infrastructure as a code. Otherwise, now normally I have habit to create it from the console base, which where I work in the normal startup organization. But now in the bigger one, like you no one allowed to create infrastructure from the console base. So that's the reason. And just because of that, I as well, I just get an opportunity to learn this through the completely from this code. Initially, I get scared like can I do मतलब मैं कर पाऊंगा या नहीं कर पाऊंगा, but going forward just as time passes, so with the time duration, I got opportunity to learn this because only the person there in the TAT team, so I need to deploy this and anyhow I need to release the project. So that's the reason in any condition I need to learn this and just have to complete the project. So that's the reason it situation forced me to learn this. So meantime, what we can do is we can just simply replace it. Okay. Okay. Then in the lib, it's we need to just replace this name. It's a web. It will automatically pop up here. Okay. And then your error will go on here. So now we can replace that second project as well. And here I just only need to change the stack name. This to user data script, we can just copy simple in this newly created folder inside the lib. Now, if I try to use command CDK synth or first bootstrap, if you get any error, then we need to resolve that first. In the meantime, I can just go to your AWS accounts and let me just quickly show you cloud formation. You can just forget about these. These are the earlier created. You can remove those. You can see the new stack here, cloud formation stack, where the name is CDK toolkit. Okay, we have executed this command here, right? This. So what he is doing, the CDK bootstrap command, he creating the cloud formation template as well as your S3 bucket to maintain the change set, similar to similar like your Terraform state file. So whatever the changes we try to deploy through the CDK, so it will maintain all the change set history. Okay. So you can see the status has been completed. If I go to this CDK toolkit, did anyone work on this cloud formation before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So cloud formation, it's a similar like your infrastructure as a code. Okay. If you consider as a Terraform, your CDK, and then cloud formation. It's a terminology of the infrastructure as a code. If some people in organization follow this cloud formation template, some people follow the CDK or some people follow the Terraform one based on their whatever the standard they have defined. Okay. So this is one more option apart from the Terraform. So in the event, you will see all the chain set. Chain set means your the process, the creation logs, like what is the creation in progress, then the complete like that. And in the resources, what resources created for this stack, so that you will see here. Let's say you have created the S3 bucket, IAM role, cluster, RDS like that. So all the resources information will be available here. If you click on this physical ID, you will land into that particular object there, particular service. And you can see the status here created. So this is the staging bucket. If I go to this bucket, so you will land into the S3 bucket service. See, we are in the Amazon S3 bucket. So here, when we start deploying the thing, na, so you will automatically the file will generate here. So now the next command will be
Sir, why this? Sorry, for what we are using that CDK synth, the command?
s- CD
You are
CDK. Yeah,
you are using CDK synth in your command line. So, for what we were using that?
CDK synth and the CDK bootstrap. It's a two function. One is generate your cloud formation template. Okay, and one is generated your S3 bucket where similar like a state file, Terraform state file. So he will maintain all the change history. If you see this information here now, So CDK synth will generate a CloudFormation template from your CDK code. What we have written in the CDK code, for example, we have mentioned all the information here, na? So he based on that he will create the CloudFormation template, not actual deployment. Will only generate the template. When we execute the command CDK deploy, we will do that after this. Then he will start actual deployment from the CloudFormation template.
Okay, so it means we can say like it is almost equivalent to like Terraform plan where it just shows that these are the resources
You are
you are
going to
going
deploy.
to execute. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You can see the
And
definition here. Yeah.
if we created any wrong resource, it means like we have to create a different EC2 instance, and we created a different. So how we can do that?
So in that case, you should not touch manually or any
Hmm?
resources. Like let's say आपने you have given the wrong EC2 instance name or instance type. So
Hmm.
that in that case, you don't need to do any manual interruption there. Like manually remove कर दिया and then new create किया. It will conflict the your ID change set ID. So that it will be a very big conflict there based on my last 2 3 year experience. Na? So
Mm-hmm.
do every changes from the code only. So let's say
Uh,
now we are going to deploy some resources and we came to know like, yeah, this is the wrong something information, right? As you said. So in that case, never delete any resources manually. You can do every changes from the code only. Otherwise, what we have done, what will happen? It will conflict your changes and the actual you have taken the action manually. So that will not identify that change set. So it will be your stack will be messy there. So to avoid this kind of conflict issue, whatever the things you want to do, that you have to do and follow the code only, code structure.
हाँ, सिर्फ एक अगर इंस्टेंस गलत हुआ है तो वो कोड में चेंज करके वही
See,
सिर्फ करेक्ट कर सकते हैं हम.
yes, yes, yes. Same, बाकी terminology ना same like Terraform, no other major changes.
ओके ओके
What you do in the Terraform na same you can follow this here.
ओके ओके थैंक यू.
Yeah. But make sure कि आप डिप्लॉय कर रहे हो कोड से और आप वहां पे जाके कुछ एक्शन ले रहे हो मैनुअली. सो दैट यू शुड नॉट टेक केयर. मतलब वो ऐसा नहीं करना है.
ओके ओके.
सो वट एवर यू वांट टू डू द चेंजेस दैट शुड हैपन थ्रू द कोड ओनली. सो क्या होता है कि वो एक खुद का अपना चेंज सेट बनाता है ना, मेंटेन रखता है जैसे टेराफॉर्म स्टेट फाइल रखता है. सो दैट ही विल आइडेंटिफाई नेक्स्ट टाइम कि या यू आर डूइंग दिस एडिशनल चेंजेस. सो दैट ही विल आइडेंटिफाई एंड ही विल अप्लाई द ऑन द योर टारगेट AWS अकाउंट्स. अगर आपने पहले EC2 वगैरह बना लिया देन वहां से आप मैनुअल जाके डिलीट कर रहे हो तो वहाँ हिस्ट्री में तो उसके क्या है कि आपने ये रिसोर्स ऑलरेडी डिप्लॉय किया है. आप फिर से कुछ नया चेंजेस ये कर रहे हो तो वहाँ पे उसको कॉन्फ्लिक्ट करेगा वो. सो इन दैट केस दैट विल बी क्रिएट अ प्रॉब्लम.
यस यस.
सो आफ्टर लॉट्स ऑफ ट्रबल शूटिंग और इसमें क्या होता है ना एक और एक प्रॉब्लम है. क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन टेम्पलेट ना हैंग हो जाता है. हैंग मतलब क्या? स्टक. व्हाट वी कैन यूज द प्रॉपर वर्ड. फेल स्टेट में चला जाता है जैसे कि अभी यहाँ पे डिलीट फेल हो गया या रोल बैक कंप्लीट आ रहा है या अपडेट फेल वगैरह ऐसा कुछ आता है ना. सो इन दैट केस वहाँ पे एक ही ऑप्शन रहेगा आपके पास कि आप लॉट्स ऑफ ट्रबल शूट कर रहे हो सब कुछ कर रहे हो. सो यू हैव टू डिलीट दैट स्टैक. ओके. स्टैक उसके बाद आप नया क्रिएट कर सकते हो बट ये प्रोडक्शन में तो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. दैट इज वेरी रिस्की. सो दैट जस्ट टू अवॉइड दिस काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन जस्ट डू वट एवर द चेंजेस यू आर डूइंग फ्रॉम द कोड ओनली. ठीक है. डे और टेस्ट में एक टाइम पे आप कर भी लो बट प्रोडक्शन में वी कैन नॉट डू दिस. डिलीटिंग द स्टैक. स्टैक मतलब क्या है कि बंच ऑफ योर सर्विसेज उस स्टैक के अंदर एक लेट्स से कि अभी स्टैक नेम यहाँ पे दिख रहा है राइट. सो इसके अंदर आपने हो सकता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर स्टैक के अंदर यू हैव क्रिएटेड योर EC2 इंस्टेंस योर RDS EKS cluster load balancer S3 bucket like that whatever the services you have created. So that's a group of services which is called as a stack name. ठीक है. यहाँ पे टेराफॉर्म इनिशियलाइज तो हमने कर लिया. आई मीन CDK इनिशियलाइजेशन. नाउ अभी डिप्लॉय करना है. ओके. टू जनरेट क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन टेम्पलेट and S3 bucket यहाँ पे you have to run the command cdk bootstrap cdk synth. Then now we can just to deploy resources. We can run the command cdk deploy. Meantime I can show you now. यहाँ पे देखिए यहाँ पे इंस्टेंस आपको टोटल नंबर ऑफ काउंट कितना दिख रहा है अभी फिलहाल 8 दिख रहा है ना। तो अभी मैं यहाँ से इसको डिप्लॉय करता हूँ ना। मेक श्योर कि यू आर इन द राइट फोल्डर जैसे कि हम टेराफॉर्म में करते हैं सीडी के प्रोजेक्ट। एंड यहाँ पे रन कर देना सीडी के डिप्लॉय। he will ask one confirmation, then he will proceed further. In case any configuration issues or any values missing, so he will give the error. He will not deploy completely. जब तक पूरा कंप्लीट नहीं होता तब तक वो यहाँ पे देखिए सेम टेराफॉर्म प्लान की जैसे आपको दिखेगा। यहाँ पे क्या प्लस हो रहा है, प्लस मतलब क्या एडिशन हो रहा है, होने जा रहा है, सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप इंस्टेंस हो रही है लाइक दिस। ओके, यहाँ पे इफ यू press yes, so he will start the deployment. It will take couple of minutes here. So
सर टेराफॉर्म में जैसे हम रोल बैक कर सकते हैं स्टेट, तो इसमें भी ऐसा कोई ऑप्शन रहता है कि अगर हमें कोई स्टेट को रोल बैक करना है तो ऐसा कुछ हो रहता है इसमें?
state rollback, I need to check, but ऐसा अभी तक तो कभी किया नहीं। मतलब क्या प्रॉब्लम आने के बाद बोलते हो आप?
मतलब समझ लीजिए एक हमने स्टेट फाइल क्रिएट की, उसमें जो रिसोर्सेज हैं तो उसमें समझ लीजिए EC2 इंस्टेंस ही है, उसको
हम्म
हम अ, दूसरे हायर वर्जन हायर लेवल ऑफ इंस्टेंस में जा रहे हैं। तो अगर हम एक तो हो सकता है या फिर हम नया स्टेट क्रिएट करें या फिर उसको रोल बैक कर दें कि मेरे ख्याल से एक टेराफॉर्म में एक ऑप्शन होता है जिसमें कि आप स्टेट को रोल बैक कर सकते हो कि जो रिसोर्सेज हैं उसमें चेंजेस हैं उसको अभी अप्लाई मत करो, कुछ ऐसा एग्जैक्टली मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा है मेरे को, लेकिन रोल बैक ऑप्शन होता है। मेरे को वही पूछना था कि इसमें ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या सीडीके में?
देखना पड़ेगा। आई नीड टू चेक एंड कंफर्म,
ओके।
क्योंकि वैसा अभी कुछ किया नहीं हमने प्रोजेक्ट में, बट आई नीड टू चेक वन मोर टाइम। Any more doubts from this today this session? Because this will take some time, but these are the process where I just documented it. I will share this after this. Also, I have mentioned the commands and the reference link as well. कि अगर फ्यूचर में कभी लगा तो you can just refer this. This is one of the best blog to go through, where I mostly learn from this guy. He has around, you can see, 1.9K repositories, especially expert into this CDK. So I have mentioned here. I will just reformat this properly, the command structure. Okay, so you can just get idea. At least ठीक है, immediately आपको use नहीं होगा, but in future somewhere if you get the opportunity to work on the CDK part, so in that case you will have this information available. क्योंकि as you said, like Terraform पे आपको जल्दी हेल्प मिल जाएगा, बट CDK पे कम, तो डेफिनेटली बिकॉज मोस्टली ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेज इस पे अवेलेबल है नहीं, और या फिर कम्युनिटी जो ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग है। So you need to some fight for this to resolve any issues. Even if you look at your organization, so mostly people use Terraform. So CDK आपको बहुत कम मिलेगा वहाँ पे। See, यहाँ पे देखो 8 का 10 हो गया. Let me refresh
Yes.
this running state. You can see web server 1, web server 2. तो यहाँ पे देखिए इसका आउटपुट भी आ गया. Create complete. So same thing like Terraform की जैसे ही है, कोई ज़्यादा changes नहीं इसमें. And it will automatically create your resources. And if you look at this, यहाँ पे देखिए इसका वेब स्टैक है ना, स्टैक नेम क्रिएट हो गया. क्रिएट कंप्लीट. इसमें आपको सारा स्टैक में चले गए. इफ यू गो टू द रिसोर्सेज यू विल सी हियर वेब सर्वर इज इंस्टेंस 1 and 2. ये लोड बैलेंसर भी बनाया खुद इसने, वेब सर्वर CDK. So all the details he will create automatically. If you go to events, so log will be there, like what things going on. If you go to EC2 and load balancer, you will see the information here. यहाँ पे देखिए load balancer. See web app ALB. I try to run this. Okay, it will definitely give the server certificate error, but at least you can see web server 1. If I hit what domain we have pointed, web.aws-guruji.net, right? So you can see this. See, the requests are routing server 1, server 2. So this all the changes and the code available here in this repo. I have added this repo in the this reference documentation where you can just follow this project. Same thing you can follow for RDS as well. RDS with the high availability cluster. So all the details available here. Now, if you want to destroy this complete infrastructure, same like Terraform, CDK, destroy. We will ask the confirmation and we just need to pass the value. Yes. We will ask the confirmation. Then if he pays Y over yes, he will start destroying it.
All the
See,
resources that we have created.
yeah, all the resources it will delete automatically. And this is the similar to your JSON file, na? State file. He will maintain all the changes here. And he will start destroying the resources. See, web server 1, web server 2 terminated.
Hmm.
Yeah, it will complete after this couple of minutes. So that's all for the today's session on the CDK part. Any questions?